Good evening. Welcome to the Committee of the Whole meeting for the month of December. We're glad you're all here. The Board of Trustees of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District is now convened in a special called meeting on Thursday, December 7th, 2017, in the boardroom of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Instructional Support Center, 10300 Jones Road, Houston, Texas, at 6 p.m. I did welcome you to the Committee of the Whole meeting, but we actually have a very brief special committee meeting first, a special call meeting, and then we'll have our Committee of the Whole. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present and to our television viewers to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. This meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the Board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the Board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by sections 551.071 to 551.084 inclusive of the Texas Government Code. The purpose of this special call meeting, it has two purposes, in fact: to administer the oath of office to our newly elected trustees and to reorganize the Board of Trustees. Our first action item will be the oath of office, and the Superintendent Secretary will administer the oath of office to the newly elected trustees. That is Don Ryan, John Ogletree, and Bob Covey. And Miss Lisa Shive will be doing the swearing-in ceremony. If you gentlemen will go down to that area.
And your response, if you choose, will be "I do" at the end, so please raise your right hand. Do you, John Ogletree, Bob R. Covey, and Don Ryan, solemnly swear to faithfully execute the duties of the Office of Trustee of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District and of the State of Texas, and will, to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of the State of Texas, so help you God? By the authority vested in me as a notary public for the State of Texas, I declare you a duly sworn officer of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Board of Trustees.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I want to give them an opportunity to sit down, and then if there are any family members you want to introduce, then I certainly want to give you that opportunity. Mr. Covey, I know you have some family members here.
Yes, I do. I have my awesome wife of 44 years. Kathleen, would you stand up? And my daughter-in-law, Kathy, who's a Cy-Fair graduate and a Texas State graduate. And my granddaughter, Molly, who's a student at Keith, and my granddaughter, Addie, who's a student at Keith, and my grandson, Cole, who's a student at St. Cuthbert. He'll be at Keith next year. Two of my sons are working for the company, one in Wyoming and one in having a hard time in Vegas, working there right now. And then my other son and his wife live in Austin. So thank you all for coming here.
We're so glad you got to join us. Mr. Ryan?
Why are y'all looking at me? Okay, so my wife's in Mexico. However, a very special person to me who helped me unbelievably on my campaign is Julie Heineman, and she is standing out there, and I would like her to stand up. Thank you, Julie. Or CJ, as I call her. She was amazing. So, and I'm just honored to serve again. I'm looking forward to serving with our team. We got a great team, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Dr. Ogletree?
Thank you. I have no one from my family here, but like to thank Julie and Heinemann for all that she's done, and the CLC, and for helping us to make sure that we keep good school board trustees. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. We will move on to the business of reorganizing the board. The election of officers for the 2017-2018 Cypress-Fairbanks Board of Trustees shall begin. In accordance with the Texas Education Code 11.061C and Board Policy BDAA Local, nominations shall be accepted for the offices of President, Vice President, and Secretary. The offices will be elected in that order. I will serve as chair until a president is elected. At that time, the newly elected president will preside over the election of the offices of Vice President and Secretary. Once each office is announced and the floor has been opened for nominations, any board member may place a name in nomination without being recognized. No second is required. After determining that no further names are to be placed in nominations, the chair will declare the nominations closed. Each nominee will be voted upon in the order that the name was placed in nomination. All in favor will be asked to signify by raising their right hand. If a majority of those present and voting is achieved, no further votes for the office will be taken. If no majority is achieved, the next name placed in nomination shall be voted upon, and so on until the office is filled. Before we begin, board members, are there any questions? The floor is now open for the office of President of the Board of Trustees.
Madam President, I nominate Dr. John Ogletree as President of the Board.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Are there any other nominations at this time? Seeing none, we have a nomination. We don't need a second in this particular part. If you agree, please signify by raising your right hand. Dr. Ogletree is elected president unanimously. Now, Dr. Ogletree, if you'll step to my chair, we have a script here, and you can just follow that.
The floor is now open for Vice President of the Board of Trustees, and any board member may nominate without being recognized, or the chair may repeat each name as placed in nomination. So may we have a nomination for Vice President?
I would like to nominate Bob Covey.
Bob Covey has been nominated as Vice President. Are there any other nominations? If not, we will close on the name of Bob Covey. All those in favor of Bob Covey being Vice President of our Board of Trustees, would you please signify by raising your right hand? It is unanimous. The next office that we need to fill is that of Secretary of the Board, and as the same procedure is that we'll keep for the Secretary position. Are there any nominations for Secretary?
President Ogletree, I nominate Christine Hartley as Secretary of the Board of Cy-Fair ISD.
Are there any other nominations? All right, if not, all those in favor of Christine Hartley serving as Secretary of our Board, please signify by raising right hands, and it is unanimous. As there is no further business, this special call meeting is adjourned. The Committee of the Whole meeting will convene in just a few moments. Okay. The board will consider approving use of the existing facsimile signatures on all checks under the new plates for the 2017-2018 Board of Trustees officers are received. Stuart, you have a presentation on that?
No presentation, President Ogletree, but we just ask that because our vendor checks have facsimile signatures of the board president and the board secretary, and since you all have just reorganized, we will need some time to be able to get the new signatures on those plates. So we're just asking that in the meantime that we're able to do that. We're asking that you approve the use of the current signatures until those plates can be received.
Good. May I have a motion?
So move. So move.
Oh, there you go.
I'll second.
And it's been moved and seconded that we will keep the existing signatures until the new plates can be printed. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. And that is unanimous. All right, I think back now to there is no further business. As there's no further business, the special call meeting is adjourned, and the committee of the whole meeting will convene in just a few minutes. Okay, we'll be back.
That helped with it.
We're ready to reconvene. And I want to recognize, and her name has already been called, but we have a CLC member here tonight, Julie Heineman. Would you stand, wave, Julie? Okay. We normally do the recognition portion of the agenda at the regular meeting, which is Monday, but we have some special introductions tonight. And Dr. Henry, will you begin?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. And we're extremely, we always hate to lose people due to retirement, but we lost three, I think it's three, right? I'm kind of losing count. Excellent principals, or we will lose them in December due to retirement. But the great thing about Cypher ISD, our bench is deep, and we've got lots of people to fill in those roles. So I'm going to ask Roy Garcia if he would to get us started.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. President Ogletree and Board of Trustees, as Dr. Henry mentioned, it is exciting anytime we have the opportunity to introduce new principals to you. As he mentioned, we had 3 retirements. Therefore, we have 3 principals that we will introduce. One, however, could not be here this evening, so we will introduce them in January, and that's Yvette Garcia, current principal at Holbrook, but was selected principal at Truett Middle School. So we'll introduce her in January. The 2 that we do have, we're going to start with our new principal at Cypress Ranch High School, and that is Mr. Mike Manis. Mike received his Bachelor of Science from Abilene Christian University and his master's degree from Sam Houston State University. Mike has 24 years of experience in the education profession, all in Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. He served as a teacher at Hare Grove Elementary School and as an assistant principal at Alt Elementary. He also served as a principal at both Joel and Warner Elementary Schools. He is in his 6th year as principal at Spillane Middle School, and Mike also served as adjunct faculty at Lone Star College. Mike and his wife Ginger have been married for 23 years. They have 2 daughters, both of whom attend Cypress Woods High School. Hannah is a junior and is a varsity cheerleader and an FFA, and Sophie is a freshman and is a member of the band and FFA. When Mike is not working or assisting with the raising of a lamb, a pig, and rabbits, he enjoys fishing, relaxing at the beach, and spending time, of course, with his family. Please join me in congratulating Mike Manis on his new leadership assignment.
Thank you. I was hoping Becky would go first so I could hear what she was going to say, but Dr. Henry, Dr. Ogletree, Board of Trustees, I love Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. I was thinking back to the first time that I was introduced here. I had a little bit more hair, and my girls were much smaller, but Cypress-Fairbanks ISD is my family, and it's my heart, and it's just a joy and a privilege to be able to work and serve the communities that I've served. I have enjoyed thoroughly working at Spillane Middle School. Julie Heineman is a true treasure. She serves on my CPOC. It's Julie night. But I am so looking forward to the warm welcome and the serving the community at Cypress Ranch High School. I can't tell you how excited I am to be a Mustang. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, I would take a little moment of personal privilege. How are you going to manage being principal at Cy Ranch with girls going to Cy Woods? Have you figured?
We are a house divided.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Good response, Mike. Our next.
Mike, do you have anyone to introduce? Let him.
That would be.
Cole told me it would be a cold night if I forgot this. If I forgot to introduce my family. I do want to recognize my beautiful wife, Ginger. Stand up. And my daughters, Sophie and Hannah. And then I also have a dear friend, Mr. Steve Miller from Spillane Middle School. He's here with us. So thank you all for what you do to support me.
Hey, and Mike, I just want you to know you've been the principal for 2 of my grandchildren, and in case you think you're getting away from them, they're now zoned to Cy Ranch. So let you know.
Our next announcement is for our new principal at Smith Middle School, Miss Becky Cope. Becky received her Bachelor of Science from University of Texas San Antonio and her Master's from Prairie View A&M University. She also participated in the Rice Educational Entrepreneurship Program and the Harvard Leadership Program. Becky is in her 22nd year in the education profession, 19 in CFISD. She served as a high school teacher and coach in Northside ISD before joining Cypress-Fairbanks. She served as a teacher at Hancock and Matsky Elementary and at Hamilton Middle School. In addition, Becky served as instructional specialist at Emmett Elementary and as an assistant principal at Joel and Warner Elementary. She served as principal at Matsky for 4 years and was selected as the principal to Open Pope Elementary in 2013. When Becky is not working, she enjoys spending time at the lake and entertaining family and friends. She and her husband, Brian, have 2 daughters, Caitlin, an East Carolina University graduate who is currently a CPA, and Haley, a University of Arkansas graduate who is a graphic designer and HR manager. Please join me in congratulating Becky on her new leadership assignment.
I was so happy you got to go first. Dr. Henry, Dr. Ogletree, it is truly a blessing to be here today, to have this opportunity. I thought I had gone the highest I could be opening a new campus, and I'm so excited for my new opportunity to be a SaberCat. There are so many people in this room who have been part of me getting to where I'm today. This is not something I did on my own. I look around and I see so many faces I've known for my 19 years. So thank you for your support. And the person that first hired me as an AP, Mike Manis, and we're going to be back on the street again, right next door to each other. So that's very exciting. And also, I'm very excited to go to the campus that my campus currently feeds in Dismiss. So I will know half the students there, and I'll know half the parents. So that's very exciting. I brought with me tonight, since my handsome husband, Brian. Stand up. He told me in the car, you know, on the wheel, they always introduce their spouses like with some adjective. Young, good-looking husband, Brian. And then Mike had to say that about Ginger, so I figured I needed to say something. My dad, Howard Starwald, and my mom, Shirley Starwald. And so, thank you.
Congratulations to both of you. Why don't we take few minutes break, and so we can congratulate our new principals. Hello. All right, we will reconvene now. Our next item on the agenda, the superintendent will make remarks and announcements, including honors and achievements earned by staff and students in recent weeks.
And we're going to do that.
Do that Monday?
Monday night, yes.
Monday? All right. We'll now go to the reports, part of our agenda. And 4A, in accordance with the Texas Education Code and State Board of Education regulations, the president of the board shall announce the name of each board member who has completed, exceeded, or who is deficient in the continuing education required under state law. And we have these names and the record here before us. Debbie Blackshear has completed 3 hours in team building and 1 hour of Texas Education Code update and 14 continuing education hours. Bob Covey, 3 hours in team building, 2.5 hours under the Texas Education Code update, and 34.5 continuing education hours. Christine Hartley, 3 hours in team building, 3 hours in the Texas Education Code update, 6 hours continuing education hours. Tom Jackson, 3 hours for team building, 3 hours in the Texas Education Code update, and 7.75 continuing education hours. Dorsey Mingonia, 3 hours for team building and no hours for the Texas Education Code update, and 34 continuing education hours. John Ogletree, 3 hours for the team building, no hours for the Texas Education Code update, and 25 continuing education hours. Don Ryan, 3 hours in team building, no hours in the Texas Education Code update, and 16.5 hours of continuing education hours. Under 4B, the administration will provide an oral report on the Advanced Academics Department. Linda Macias.
Dr. Ogletree and board members, I am honored this evening to be able to share with you or provide you with the programs and activities that are under our Advanced Academics Department that are certainly making an impact and providing opportunities for our Cypress-Fairbanks ISD students. Mary Jalowski, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, and Katrina Nelson, our Advanced Academics Director, will actually be providing the presentation this evening. Mary?
Good evening, Dr. Henry, Dr. Ogletree, and board members. I'm so very pleased tonight to highlight for you the work of the Advanced Academics Department. The department's areas of responsibility are the Horizons program, which is our gifted and talented programming, college and career readiness, the College Board Advanced Placement courses, and our partnership with Lone Star College. The department is small but mighty. Katrina Nelson is our new Director of Advanced Academics. So I will turn the information over to Katrina for a moment. She will talk about the Horizons program, College and Career Readiness, and the College Board Advanced Placements.
Thank you. The Advanced Academic Department supports our 6,807 gifted and talented students and their teachers. The department facilitates student testing twice annually in September and January, and teacher training throughout the school year. The teachers of gifted students are required to have 30 hours of initial training and 6 hours of update training each year. A cadre of internal teachers facilitates these trainings in district in an effort to minimize both cost and travel for our Cy-Fair teachers. The department supports parents of the Horizon students by facilitating meetings and trainings in September and February, and the Horizons Parents Advisory Council provides opportunities for parents to offer input and guidance regarding program adjustments and enhancements. Parents also are offered the opportunity to listen to speakers and presenters who help them to better understand and support their gifted student. The Advanced Academics Department facilitates student events each year in support of the gifted and talented students, and these include the following: the Horizon Showcase, which will be held January the 29th, an event where students present advanced level products to a community audience of parents, teachers, and others. Last year, 3,237 students participated. Da Vinci Day will be held February the 24th, and this is an event which offers students 3 sessions of enrichment and extension activities to include STEM, robotics, chemistry, fine arts and humanities, and higher order thinking skills. Last year's event included 862 participants. Destination Imagination is a district-sponsored, parent-facilitated educational activity where student teams solve open-ended challenges and present their solutions at tournaments. Our next tournament will be March the 3rd, and Cy-Fair ISD has 94 teams competing. The Advanced Academics Department also facilitates the district's college and career readiness initiatives. All 10th grade students take Aspire 10, a pre-ACT test, and all 11th grade students take ACT free of charge. These testing events save parents the cost of $29 per student for the Aspire and $61.50 for the ACT per student. The department also supports and collaborates with the 8 college and career specialists to create and facilitate the following student events, which are available to students attending all 12 of our high schools. Our college kickoff in August provided assistance to seniors in completing the Apply Texas and the Common App college applications, and that also aided in writing, revising, and editing essays, important to all college students, especially those who are first-generation college attendees. 800 students participated in this event. The Career Options Fair is another activity, an opportunity for students in grades 6 through 12 to learn about career and technical programs and industry certifications and opportunities available while in high school. This year's number of participants was 1,250 students. Our most recent event was Funding Your Future, an opportunity for seniors and their parents and guardians to learn about the financial aid process, obtain information on scholarship resources, and complete the FAFSA and TASFA applications in the on-site lab. And on February 1st, we will be hosting the College Special Interest Night, an opportunity for juniors and their parents to learn more about highly selective college admissions, services for students with disabilities, requirements for college athletics, and planning for pre-professional programs. We have several college and career specialists in our audience tonight, and with your permission, I would like to introduce them. From Cy-Fair High School, Aaron Stockton. From Cypress Creek High School, Amber Stevens. From Cypress Falls High School, Christy Taylor. From Cypress Lakes High School, Michelle Herman. From Cypress Ridge High School, Abby Bryan. From Cypress Springs High School, Tracy Tyser. From Cypress Woods High School, Stephanie England. And from Langham Creek High School, Sandra Pogue. We have In addition, we have one college and career specialist who was unable to attend tonight, and that is Eric Hernandez from Jersey Village High School. The Advanced Academics Department also facilitates the requirements associated with offering College Board advanced placement courses in our high schools. These requirements include teacher training, syllabi submission, exam preparation, exam score data analysis, teacher training reimbursements, and the like. Cypher ISD had 15,362 course enrollments in advanced placement courses during the 16-17 school year. Our department also facilitates the Scholars Program. The program's focus and purpose is to identify and support students who show potential to score in the highest range possible on the 11th grade PSAT and MSQT assessment that will earn national merit status, ultimately qualifying the student for national merit or national Hispanic scholarships. We facilitate the identification of students, the invitation, the teacher preparation, instructional materials update and purchase, and other associated program requirements. At this time, I'll turn the presentation back over to Mary.
The Advanced Academics Department is also key in developing, maintaining, and supporting the district's partnership with our Lone Star College colleagues. We have 3 of our Lone Star College colleagues in the audience this evening that support us, so I'd like to introduce them to you. They are Dr. Dina Shepard, Vice President of Student Learning, Dr. Michelle Rodriguez-Zook, Dean of Academic Affairs, and Hollander Thompson, Director of Educational Services and Partnerships. Thank you, ladies, so much for attending this meeting with us. So our work with them starts with dual credit. Dual credit allows our high school students to earn college credit while they are still taking high school courses in their graduation requirements. The programming requires our teachers to be credentialed as adjunct college faculty and our curriculum and instruction team to work with the college staff to develop and align curriculum and instruction and to train our teachers. This fall, we had 5,814 course enrollments in dual credit courses, and those courses include 11th and 12th grade English, U.S. history, government, college algebra, trigonometry, statistics, calculus, biology, environmental science, and chemistry. And the result was 17,941 college credit hours just during this fall semester that we're finishing up now. College Academy is our newest initiative in which dual credit students will earn an associate's degree of science with Lone Star College simultaneously while earning their high school diploma. We are piloting this, as you all know, at Cypress Lake High School, and on the picture you see our 142 ninth graders who in 4 years will be our first group of graduates with both a high school and a college associate degree. College Academy will be extended to all Cypher high schools in the next 3 to 4 years. Dr. Macias and Dr. Henry are telling me 3 years, so I'm working on that.
It will be 3 years, Dr. Henry.
Here you go, sir. Not so well known is Care Academy. Care Academy provides students who earn a spring semester average of 75 or greater in their English 4L and or their advanced algebra class taken during their 12th grade year to automatically enter college in English 1301 or college algebra at Lone Star College if they do that within their first 2 years after high school. And the key to this is that it requires no TSI or any other college entrance test. Now, as you might expect, this agreement requires extensive and deep collaboration around curriculum alignment and teacher training. The work is intricate, but vastly rewarding to our students. The Lone Star College and Cypher staffs are committed to the continuation and enhancement of our extraordinary and innovative relationships. 2 other things are in the works. We are facilitating an advanced course diversity action team. We're going to launch that in January. This team of principals, directors of instruction, associate principals, counselors, and ISC curriculum staff members will do action research to investigate and plan to increase diversity in AP, dual credit, and other advanced level courses that we offer here in Cy-Fair. Our work will focus on identification, enrollment, and support of economically disadvantaged African American and Hispanic students in these courses. Participation in AP exams, increasing scores to 3, 4, and 5 on AP exams, and systematic use and dissemination of Aspire 10 and ACT scores that identify and support these students. Further collaboration with Lone Star College focuses on workforce dual credit. These courses involve areas like EMT, nursing, computer science, and the like. Just as academic dual credit, students will be able to earn college credit while they are taking high school courses that meet their endorsement portion of the graduation requirements. We will share more about this when we present on Career and Technical Education Department in February. As you can see, this department is in fact small but mighty. The initiatives are focused, inclusive, and provide great opportunities to students at all levels. I appreciate and thank you for the opportunity to share this information with you this evening. Kat and I are happy to answer any questions that you may have about the department or its work. Thanks.
Thank you. Board members, anyone have any questions?
Thank you.
Tom?
have one.
Just
I think everybody on the board knows the answer to this question, but I think the question needs to be asked. We have a representative from nearly every one of our high schools that is a college and career specialist, but would you touch lightly upon the role of the college and career specialist at each of the high schools?
Well, Mr. Jackson, Kat talked about the college kickoff and all those events. What the team does is they work very dutifully to make sure that students know about all of those events. They plan and facilitate all of those events. Each of them functions as the point person to one of those events, and then they all work as a team. So all those things she described, the college kickoff, the special interest night, the career options fair, all of those are organized and facilitated by that group of people there. And in addition to that, they work with students on their campuses to ensure that the students know the options into all of these things, that they know everything that there is to know about taking advanced courses, about registering for tests when that timeline is appropriate. They just take care of all kids, and they focus very significantly on those that are first-generation students, those that don't have family members that attend college, have attended college in the past, because those students need some extra special support so they persevere and pursue through the maze of application processes and such. So they do grand work for us at the campus and district level.
Thank you. A couple of other questions. You mentioned the new initiative that is coming up. And once again, I'm fairly certain that everybody on the board knows this, but I think it's a question that needs to be asked. Is there any research, any correlation between taking an AP course and further academic success? And is there any correlation? You mentioned that you are also going to focus on students being able to not just take the course, but to obtain college credit. Is there any research that shows or demonstrates a correlation between obtaining college credit and future academic success? Yes,
I don't have the research specificity here, but I can assure you that in all the research articles that you read, the earlier that a student experiences college level work, the rigor of it, and they are inside the structure of a high school where they are supported and they are taught the how about studying, timelines, meeting project deadlines, those things at the rigor of a college level course, their likelihood of attending college increases, and then their likelihood to persist and persevere and work through a degree rises significantly.
And let me add, Mr. Jackson, that there certainly is research out there that talks about that if we can get some college courses under their belt, the likelihood of them continuing certainly increases dramatically.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christine?
This report was wonderful, and I just love seeing all the different ways we are reaching our students. I just wanted to say thank you to Lone Star. It's just, you're a valued partner in working with us, helping our students to go beyond high school, and I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate all that you do.
We appreciate them too, and they're very great partners in that we recognize there's a lot of barriers between the different functionings of our two entities, but we work very hard to remove those barriers and make it our work and clear sailing for students.
Bob?
I'd just like to, number one, comment on the ladies that are doing the work in the high schools and seeing how that started at one high school and now it's grown like it has. Mm-hmm. And then also seeing our relationship with Lone Star. But I guess one of the things I'm real impressed with is how you reached out to the families, especially on the financial end, and trying to explain to them, because I know when my kids went through, some of those forms were extremely difficult, and that's for somebody that had been to college. But for people that have not been there, it almost seems insurmountable. So for y'all to offer that to parents is just it's just another step in getting those kids into school. And I especially like the career readiness too. So thank you for doing it all. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mary, what percentage participation do we have presently for low socioeconomic students and minority students who taking advanced courses? Do you have that?
I don't have that information with me this evening. I can certainly get that information to you for Monday. What I do know is it's not enough. And we need to be very deliberate and strategic about identifying those students as early as 5th and 6th grade. It's not something that we can start to work on in high school. We have to start much earlier than that and get them on that path with supports and learning opportunities, information to their parents. But certainly, not to say that we're going to wait for 6th graders to get to high school. We're going to work on it on all levels. But we need to, the Diversity Action Team, I think is going to support a lot of that and move that along quickly. What we'd like to see is that the representation of students in those advanced courses, regardless of what the advanced course is, mirrors the demographics of the school at large. So if the school is 50% economically disadvantaged, when you look at those advanced courses, you see that 50% of the students in there are also economically disadvantaged. So that's when we know we have access for all, equal and appropriate access for all.
And how soon will the advanced course diversity action team be functional?
We're going to launch in January.
Okay. All right. Anything? Doctor?
Just to add one thing, and many of you have touched on it now, and I know some people watch the board meetings at home, but one of the real jewels of this community is Lone Star College Cy-Fair, and not just the facility, it's the people at the facility, going back to President Levy when she was there, and now Dr. Keshvala, who's leading the college now. We have such a great partnership. In fact, I think 65% of their students are actually CFISD, former CFISD students or current CFISD students. And again, from the school district as a whole, please relay that back to Dr. Keshvala, and thank you ladies for being here and continuing to work with our students and being the real jewel of the Cy-Fair community. Thank you.
All right, our next item is 4C. The administration will provide a written report on the end-of-year academic performance and literacy assessment of elementary students in grades K to for the 2016-2017 school year.
Dr. Ogletree, I really just want to give you a brief explanation of the information that you received, because we provide this to you every year, but it looked a little bit different this year. So I just wanted to walk you through what you received and why you received it. The primary literacy performance report is actually a requirement per the state of Texas. And all districts are required to select an assessment, a literacy assessment from a list of approved tests on the commissioner's list, and use that assessment with K1 and 2, and then present that information to you. For the last few years, we've been using iStation. The ICEP is the name of the test. And the ICEP is a web-based, technology-based test. It takes about 30 minutes to give the test to actually the whole class. We went with the web-based test because previous to that, we were doing a paper pencil, and it was taking teachers about 3 weeks to administer the test, and teachers were complaining rightfully that they were losing so much instructional time. So we went to the ICEP. Well, the last couple of years, we've had some issues, some missing data with ICEP, and this year, when we put the report together, as I was reviewing it, I noticed that we had over 600 kids that were missing from the report, and as I looked at it, and I thought, well, how can I fill in those gaps so you could have a better picture of it? So that's why you have two reports. The first one says ICEP district data. I should have the wrong one. I think district data missing data. That one is just a straight ICEP, and I felt like we needed to give you that because that is what the state requires, that you have the report from the commissioner's approved test. But the second one, we attempted to fill in some of those gaps and inconsistencies, and we use the information from our reading inventory, and we do have a research-based reading inventory that we use that measures very much the similar components of the ICEP, and so that's why you have two separate reports. One of them is the straight ICEP that's required for us to provide to you, and the second one is our attempt to fill in the gaps that are missing, that missing information.
Thank you. Are there any questions, board members? Tom?
First, let me say that I am exceptionally pleased with the results of this information. I know when I first came on the board, if you compare the results 6 years ago to now, we have dramatic improvement throughout the district. If you had a scatter plot from 6 years ago and compare it to this one, I have to say that y'all have done a superb job, period. There are also certain anomalies in here that were present 3, 4, and 5 years ago that are starting to disappear. We used to see a steady decline from kindergarten to first to second, and you don't see that in the data. You see some declines, but you see them go down, and you see them go back up. And so the question I have is this evidence that prevention, as opposed to placing more resources on prevention as opposed to intervention, is that working? And is this evidence that some of the initiatives that y'all have kicked off are taking hold and we're seeing tremendous fruits, or is it merely that our blueberries are coming to us, a little bit brighter shade of blue?
Well, we believe we have some wonderful blueberries in our district, but your observation is absolutely correct, Mr. Jackson. You may recall that for several years we were declining, and especially in that second grade, it just kept declining little by little, and we were trying to figure out what was happening. And you're right, we have put more money into the primary literacy in that, not reaction, but that prevention that Dr. Henry talks about. Not putting those Band-Aids on trying to get kids to be successful on different assessments as they get through the grades, but truly dealing with the problem early on, that literacy support that's needed. So we certainly have a stronger curriculum. We certainly have our campuses that are putting more focus and measuring the results of our kids in kindergarten, first, and second grade, and then certainly other initiatives such as Camp Summit have certainly it's bearing fruits now with how our kids are doing. So while I'm very pleased with the results, we still have work to do, but we certainly are moving in the right direction with incremental growth in all of these different grade levels.
I do have a follow-up question. It appears to my untrained eye that our full K, pre-K programs are also contributing to greater literacy attainment among our students. Is that a correct surmise?
That is certainly correct. When we compare the data of our full-day pre-K programs, which we have 3 now in the district, when we compare it to and they're all at campuses that are identified as Title I. When we compare it to the other campuses that are also Title I, you see that they are outperforming the other campuses. So yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, David.
Dr. Macias, looking over the report, I thought the numbers were really terrific. And in reviewing them, not having the 6 years experience that Mr. Jackson has, but a question did arise because, for example, Duryea shows they start out at 96% and then first grade 92% and then drop to 71% in second grade. Is part of that perhaps, isn't that about the age where if a student has a problem with dyslexia or other, say, learning problems that they begin to surface?
Yes, that is correct, and we actually begin doing more identification during that time period. So yes, you're absolutely correct, Ms. Blackshear.
Christine?
I will chime in with these numbers are great. And I just wanted to highlight, as somebody who I work with iStation every day now, and I've seen this program, and I see how our teachers are obviously looking at the data that it gives you. Is a kid a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3, and who do they need to provide the extra for? And so I just want to commend our teachers because they are using the system effectively, and obviously our kiddos are benefiting from it. So thanks.
Okay. All right. We'll now go to the action item. The board will now review and discuss the following action items. 5A, the board will consider approving the tax refunds of $500 or greater for Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. Any questions? 5B. 5B, the board will consider approving the minutes of the November 13th, 2017 regular meeting. Any questions on this? 5C, the board will consider approving the minutes of November 17th, 2017 special call meeting. Any? All right. We'll now go to the action non-consensus items. Beginning with 6A, the board will consider awarding the bids, contracts, and/or authorizing purchase orders as recommended in the posted agenda item. 1, art and miscellaneous school supplies, funding activity funds, and M&O funds. 2, art paper, funding source is M&O funds. 3, assorted non-food items for nutrition services. And this funding source is the nutrition service funds. 4 chicken tenders for nutrition services. Wow. Nutrition service funds. 5 is family and consumer science equipment and supplies, and funding sources, activity funds and M&O funds. 6 is health science equipment and supplies, and our funding sources, activity funds and M&O funds. 7, internet service and devices for children of low-income families, and this funding source is technology library bond funds. And 8, metal fabrication and repair service, and the funding source is nutrition service funds and M&O funds. 9, musical equipment, instrument repair service, parts and supplies, that comes from M&O funds. 10, office supplies, and that comes from M&O funds. 11, physical education dress wear, and from activity funds. 12, printer supplies from M&O funds. Can we move this to consensus, or does anyone want to pull any out?
Dr. Ogletree, Frankie, could you tell us a little bit more about the internet service for children with low-income families? I think it'd be good for the listening audience to hear about this.
Thank you for providing me an opportunity to speak, Dr. Henry, Dr. Ogletree, and board members. This is actually a curriculum and instruction function, so I don't want to step over Dr. Macias if she would like to speak first about the instructional value.
Well, let me just say that this is like a huge Christmas present that we have received for our kids. We have been talking about this for several years now, and we've been working with Frankie, Becky Cook, our director for instructional technology, Mary Jaloski, myself, and Frankie have been looking at opportunities to be able to provide internet access to our kids from low-income homes, and we've been looking for actually we talked about let's find a pilot, let's find a way to do a pilot and put the access out there, put the tools out there, the Chromebooks out there, and then let's work with the campuses to make sure that they're providing the instruction and the extensions out at the homes, and allow our kids to truly be at the same level as many of our kids are in Cypher. So we're looking to embed this into instruction, and then be able to monitor how this is being used out at the different homes. And I know Frankie will share where we're looking at piloting this and putting this.
The proposal actually includes placing 2,620 devices into the district, with 60 at each high school, 40 at each middle school, and 20 at each elementary school. What I'm most excited about with this agenda item is the actual solution that's being proposed. The monitoring capabilities are far superior. The different types of reports, for example, that can be assessed at the campus level include where students are traveling on the internet. So at a moment's click, a campus administrator could look at the devices that are sent home to students centrally, because it's all web enabled, and could look at the device and see which websites the students are accessing. It also has a robust content filter to keep those students safe while they are at home. And I think that's an important feature, simply because, you know, it's like giving a child a Ferrari with open access on a wide road. So these devices that are going home will be monitored, will be blocked for inappropriate content, And Dr. Macias is actually very, very right. It is a Christmas present. It is the missing component that we have in our technology program because we have a robust infrastructure. And now we're providing the opportunity for students that may not have a device or may not have connectivity to have a combination of both to be able to access internet content at home.
Amen.
I just think it's an awesome thing that we're offering, and it obviously is going to be a positive impact on these students that don't have that ability at home. And so when you say that it's kind of like a pilot, did we search for this specifically, or did it kind of land in our lap and we're excited, or what happened?
Oh, no, we have been searching.
You've been searching.
We have been working on this for a couple of years now, and we've gone through, we think we have something, and then, no, it wasn't the right thing, or it didn't provide the safety for our kids. But Frankie's team and our curriculum team have been working on this for several years now, and looking for the right opportunity and the right place to pilot.
Dr. Ogletree, I'd kind of like to move this on its own if we could. I think it's important. Pull it out.
Okay, let's pull out.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know why I'm asking Don.
And Linda and Frankie, I know that we're not at church, but I say amen to this one.
I'll second
so
that.
we're going to pull
Amen.
out number 7 out of this. Okay. And all the rest will be remain on consensus.
Frankie, you may want to stay up there.
Okay. Next, you have another question?
Well, I would like to ask some. Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I think there's another piece to the puzzle as well. First, whenever I go on a campus tour, and thanks to the superintendent to permit us to do this, I always stop at the library. And as Linda knows, I always ask every librarian the same question. How many e-readers do you have? We have approved significant e-books. And I suspect y'all know the answers I received because I've shared some of those answers before. So we now have e-readers for our Title I students who may not have access to one. It's bigger than a cell phone to read on, so it's an actual readable device. We have e-books. 2 questions. Are the students able to check the e-books out of the library when they're at home, read the book? And then secondly, do we have any tracking software that permits us to identify if our resources that we have committed to e-books are actually being utilized?
I might defer to Dr. Macias as the library and the ebooks. I can speak to the technical specifications. As far as the monitoring, I might ask Dr. Macias to give her perspective.
I believe the answer to that is twofold. We still have work to do there, but we do have some ways to track how kids are reading. We have different programs in place where right now we're having to load at the school for our kids that don't have access at home, load at the school, and then sometimes not always choice for our kids. The teacher having to load, we send it home so they can read it on a Kindle or some other type of e-reader, and then they bring it back, and then it loads back up when they're back at school. But they really don't have that choice to be able to choose different books that they would like to read. So some of those programs give us the opportunity to run reports, Mr. Jackson, that tell us the usage level, the number of books that are being read.
And that's my understanding as well. And the utilization of e-books by certain of our students is fairly robust. I would also share that I have been told that many of our Title I students are more willing to read a book on an e-reader as opposed to picking up a hardback book. My observations are merely spot and anecdotal, but Have you seen that from the academic side as well?
Absolutely, it's different. It's provides some novelty to it. So and our kids are, they've grown up with technology. So this is providing a great opportunity for them. And again, as I said, they will actually have choice in what they're reading, the different books or different articles that they're going to read, because they'll have access there. Right now, they don't. And so what they're reading is the one thing that we're sending home with them.
I think this is a grand idea. I know Harold Rowe talked about this years before I was even on the board. So I am tickled and delighted that it has finally come to fruition. So thank you, ladies.
Yes, thank you.
Our next item is 6B. The board will consider approving the attached list of students for off-campus physical education, Category 1, for the 2017-2018 school year spring. This has 290 students in 64 different facilities. Can we move that to consensus?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, John. I just would like to make a statement to people out there that are thinking that we don't offer choice to our people, because here we're looking at 290 students that are going to 64 different facilities around our area. So I think that looks like we're offering choice. I'm just going to say that. And I hope some of the legislatures are listening.
All right. 6C, the board will consider approving the granting of temporary construction easement to the West Houston County Regional Water Authority to perform soil boring tests along the property line of Fry Road at Andre Elementary, Hopper Middle School, and Cypress Springs High School, and authorize the superintendent or designee to negotiate the final items and execute all related documents. Any questions on that, or can we move that to consensus? All right. Item 6D, the board will consider approving the granting of soil drainage easement to D.R. Horton to perform grading operations along the west property line of Hemingway Elementary, and authorize the superintendent or designee to negotiate the final items and execute all related documents. Any questions? Can we move that to consensus? Thank you. 6E, the board will consider approving construction proposals and contracts paid from 2014 bond funds to the recommended contractor, and authorize the superintendent or designee to execute all necessary documents related to such contracts as follows. 1, renovations to Owens, Reed, and Metcalf Elementary, the schools. We keep that for Monday, or questions? Yes, Dylan Brady. Yes.
I'll wait till Dylan comes up. With Harvey being very fresh in our memory, as we prepare to commit significant resources for Owens, Reed, and Metcalf, or any one of these three schools, either within the 100-year floodplain, the 500-year floodplain, or a flood pool.
So I don't know about all of the longer floodplains. I don't know if we could get back with you and on Monday and give you those. Yes, sir. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll keep this non-consensus. 6F, the board will consider approving and authorizing the superintendent or designee to enter into, we need miscellaneous professional service contracts related to the following project, and it's related to these same schools. So renovations to Owens, Reed, and Metcalf Elementary Schools. So we'll need to keep that on non-consensus also. Do we take a motion, don't we? Do we? No. Is that it? Okay. The superintendent's briefing is next on our agenda, and I believe that will be done on Monday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have a closed session tonight? No, nothing? Well, I think we have exhausted everything on our agenda, and we'll see you Monday night at the Berry Center. Thank you.
Anything different like that will get you do this.
La 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 la